she was ready to go into a new relationship, and I wanted to know how old she was. The woman who called me from Connecticut, because I thought that she was kind of young. That was my first impression, because so I couldn't tell if it was just her voice or where she was. So, but I have to tell you the truth, James, I really like your patience in talking with people. You've got a lot of patience.
Well, Tommy's on here with him again. Tommy, question? Or more on the Buddhist, being married to a Buddhist?
Sure. No,
I like that.
Another question. All right. In my life, every relationship I know, what I say to anybody about a relationship, for a relationship to work, it'll work forever if both people are willing to give 100%. If you're only willing to give 60%, 70%, 80%, it will never work, period. Both people have to be doing that 100% because it's always that little quirk that comes up, and if you can't give into that, it will start breaking the fall. But here's what I want to say. Everybody I know, it wasn't the fact that they weren't communicating enough, but I'll say this from even movie stars and you name it, it's always a sexual thing where it's cheating on the person or something like that. When it does, then that will split up the relationship. But to me, it seems like sex problems are the main root cause for I'd say at least 60% of all relationships that break up. In my reality, everybody I met, why they broke up. I mean, perfect families that look like they got everything going, and they split up. And he gets married or he gets engaged right away and all those kind of things. I mean, his wife dies and he's already engaged. I mean, there's a sexual thing going on when a person cheats or when they do that. And no matter how you talk to that person, they're not going to open up to you about it because they really aren't ready to, and they just won't do it until they're ready. But is there any kind of way to get around that at a level where people can understand it before it happens to them? I mean, I was married 3 times, and it was always a nightmare when it ended. I mean, it was like, I want to die, period.
It sounds like you want to know if people can use communication skills to kind of notice the problems that are happening earlier so they don't blow up into some kind of a divorce. Is that where you're going?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the whole thing about bringing our spirituality into our lives more through noticing what's going on with us and noticing and being sensitive to what's going on with the other person. And when we use our speech to really draw that out and be curious with what's going on, really curious to what's really deeply going on inside ourselves and in the other person, then we can really create a safe space where sensitive issues can be shared and intimacy can be savored, connection can be savored. And when that happens, we're not going to get blindsided by some kind of a major action that happens in the marriage because we're already going to be familiar with what's going on. So if someone develops an attraction for someone else, that's probably going to be included in the information that's shared between people in a marriage so that you don't have to wait until
thing is just real fast. Let me just throw this in. Did you ever hear of Marriage Encounter?
No.
Well, it was a big thing years ago where you're having problems in your relationship. You go to this weekend retreat and then you get remarried at the end of the 3 days. Well, the last week of my relationship, we went to that. A week later, we got separated. I mean, right? You're writing letters to each other. You're not in the same room. You talk to other people, and then you go back in the same room. I mean, it was like really trying to communicate with this person in 3 days. And all it did was brought out that we couldn't stay together. I mean, it was a really bizarre situation, but they really promoted that everywhere. Everybody had stickers on their cars, Marriage Encounter. It was like 2 hearts in a logo. But like I said, what you said is if a person's willing to open up, a lot of people aren't ready to do that, though. I mean, there's always a dark part of them. I call it the dark night, whatever, the part that they don't want to face or don't want to release, and especially telling their partner about it. I'm sure, I mean, I guess you could try. I mean, some people do not ever open up. But, no, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy, for sharing. And I told him about you.
Something.
Go ahead, James.
I'd like to share that sometimes the thing that's not said is something like, I actually don't want to be married to you anymore. Like, I don't want that anymore. And so then if someone, just along the same theme that our inner world creates our outer world, if our desires are not to stay with someone then communication skills are going to bring that out. And that's going to be true for someone under certain circumstances. And the truth of that, really, we just need to honor the truth that comes out in communication. It can't be, well, the truth that's going to come out is going to lead us together. No, that doesn't always happen. What really communication skills are meant to provide is just honesty and understanding and empathy. So it's not to achieve a goal like getting together or not getting together or something. It's just know what is, just to understand each other. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Did you cut off? Let's see who this is. Tommy, did you cut off? Who's calling in on?
No, I didn't cut off. I'm still here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you speak up? We can just barely hear you.
Hi, Morris. I listened to your show before, many times actually, and try to put on the calendar.
Thank you.
Yes, I have. When I know you have the church, am I allowed to ask a question?
Of course. James is here to help us.
Yeah,
go ahead. Talk to James. Tell him your name.
I'm Jake. My name is Melissa, and I am a fan of the show. Got some teachings because I always want to be good in the life. But I do have a thing that kind of bothers me right now, and I'm sticking for my truth. I'm very picky when it comes to finding a partner. I don't think I'm perfect to anybody else, but just I think because of the drama or the issues, and I have to feel the connection. So I found somebody who I really like, and things were in the communication process. We were communicating, and then all these people came in, started contradicting, deceit, deception. And I am able to understand, but this person is a different level than me, and therefore she left. I left the job, and then she left 4 weeks later, and I know that she was with the company for about almost a decade, and now I don't know where it stands, like in the near future. I know he might be going through problems, money, situations, things have changed. But in the truth, well, I've asked the truth. I like to communicate with him in the nearby future if that is possible. I did send him some messages. We all go through things, and I told him, we all go through things. I have nothing to do with people's behavior. Neither do you. So that's where it lies. If that portal is open in the nearby future, that's a wonderful person, a wonderful human man that I met. And I hope you were able to understand me.
I'm not sure I understood everything. We have kind of a bad connection, but I wonder if you have a question around it.
Yes, a question. Do you see, thank you, sir. And I know you're able to aid that communication. In the nearby future, do you see me and him communicating? In the near future, it could be months, it could be weeks. I don't know the time, but is there do you see that in the future? You see him and I communicate, like maybe he tries to communicate, or we meet somewhere. Maybe she finds.
I'm so sorry. I'm not really understanding you.
Do you see us communicating in the future? Communication.
I really can't say. I really can't say. That's not really something that I can do. I can't do it. I can't not do it. I don't have the ability to know that.
Can you hear me now? Anybody? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, yes. 3 or 4 of us got knocked off. So, all right, 229, did you want to ask James Tolley a relationship question?
Yes.
Erica? Okay. Tell us your name. And this is James Tolley, a facilitator of relationship coach in Maui, Hawaii. And what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Melvin, and I'm calling from Georgia.
Hi, Melvin from Georgia. James Tolley is here to facilitate our wonderful spiritual community. Tell him what your question is, Melvin.
Okay, does it have to be about another female or a family? Family
is fine.
James?
Oh, well, okay, thank you. I have 6 sisters, and I have one brother now. My other brother passed away about a month and a half. But prior to that, my family, all out of the 6 sisters, they don't want to engage in a relationship with me, but only 2. And those 2 stay out of town. But I just want to know, like, what's going on with my other 4 sisters towards me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you don't know why your 4 sisters don't want to have more connection and more of a relationship with you.
Right, yes, sir, because we used to. But now they won't, I call, they have 100 things to do, and so we hang up, and the next one, then the next one, the next. And nobody never been over my house, my apartment. I've been staying here for 6 years, and no visit from my sisters.
Well, yeah, I can understand why you would wonder what's going on their side if they're not letting you know what it is. And if I could just tell you what I might say to them if I were you, that might be the best way to answer your question. So what I might say is, hello, I think that, I'm really wanting to have more of a relationship with you and wanting to be in closer contact with you. And I'm not feeling that you want to be in contact with me, and I'm wondering why. Is there something that I've done or something that I didn't do? Is there anything that I can do to repair anything that happened in the past? I'm just really wanting to hear from you what's going on your side that seems to be getting in the way of us having a closer relationship.
So, Melvin, you'll need to take an initiative and please contact your sisters. And if you can't phone them, maybe you can mail them a letter. Okay? Because that would be a nice thing for you to do, especially since it concerns you. So you share your love and light with your family and see if you can open that communication up, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We appreciate you. All right. And we appreciate you being one of our loyal listeners. We really appreciate you, Melvin. So you take care. We'll be back here Thursday for psychic readings. Okay. I think what's happened, James, is on spirituality. I've been here 8 years, and I have a lot of very loving, kind, loyal, spiritual people. And they're just happy to have me back on Sunday. So some of them may want advice, spiritual. It's like my Ascension.Center church. I call it Ascension Church Ohana, and you know what Ohana, and I guess you know the word Ohana. Are you familiar with that word? Wonderful. Well, maybe you and Tommy can work on that for me with my Maui people, and because you're both in Maui. But, yeah, share a little bit about Ohana for our people listening about their families, because we all have those hard times, and you could just speak to all of us, especially my grandsons won't come to our family outings anymore. They don't want to. They just say it's too much family drama. So are you saying that it's because memories can create communication issues? Is that generally so? Melvin is still here, but a lot of people listening to you. What is it about when we get together and we start doing old times, but it brings up the bad memories too? So do you mind addressing that? And then Suzanne and I think Rich is next, and then Suzanne again on the round table. But go ahead.
Yeah, beautiful.